Hi, this is Lynn Sharp, and welcome back to another edition of Eating Sharp with Lynn Sharp. You know, I took a few months off. I've gotten moved. I'm in my new home. And in the future videos, I'm going to give you a little insight of my kitchen here. I really love my kitchen. It is huge. It's got big cupboards, lots of space, and it's really ideal for me to do these shows, and I'm really glad that I was able to find this house. So today, I put up on my Facebook page a question. I had all these tomatoes, about 35-ish tomatoes from my garden that I picked over the last couple of days. And I put up on my Facebook page, what should I make? Should I make homemade salsa, or should I make some marinara sauce or homemade tomato sauce? And you know, it was about 50-50. Some people said make both. Some people wanted my salsa. But if you've been watching my videos, I have already made salsa fresca, and I've showed you my recipe of salsa. And that's on my website. I'll have the link here so that you can go there and take a look at that video. So today I thought I would make some homemade tomato sauce. And the reason I want to make tomato sauce is because it's really versatile. You can put it on a lot of things, not only with pasta and chicken, but you can do it with meats and pork and fish. I mean, there's a whole lot of different things that you can do with a homemade tomato sauce. Plus, you can put your own onions, your own, you can spice it up any way you want. I happen to have some peppers out of the garden. They told me these were Anaheim peppers. Well, at least the little tag said that, and they look more like jalapeno peppers. And these are little inferno peppers. They're not very high. I do have these little cherry bomb peppers, and they do have a little kick to them. So you guys take a break. I'm going to get all set up, move my camera around. I am the cameraman this time. I am looking for a cameraman so that I can do these videos a little more professional. But I want to get this one out to you so that you can see that I'm still alive and I'm still making videos. So take a short break. I'll get set up and I'll show you the first couple of steps that you'll need to do to start with your homemade tomato sauce. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Now you just want to take your tomato, and in the butt end of the tomato, the flower end, you want to just give it a little slice like this, just to give it a cross, because what we're going to do is we're going to water bath these. So let me show you again. Just a little cross, one there, just like that. It's really simple. What we're going to do is we're going to take that skin off of there. We're going to flash blanch them in boiling water, and then we're going to ice bath them afterwards to stop the cooking process, and that'll make that skin come right off of there. So just a little T cross in there so that we can get that skin. These are the toughest parts of the skin, is around this end and this end. So just a little T cross like that. I'll do a couple more. I counted the tomatoes. I have 40 tomatoes, so it's going to be a nice big batch of tomato sauce. So I'm going to get these all cut up, excuse me. So you guys hang tight, and I'll show you the next step in the process of making your own tomato sauce at home with your fresh grown tomatoes. So take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. And so what I've done now is I've put the tomatoes down in some boiling water. And you'll want to leave them in there just probably enough just so that skin will start to peel off like that. And then you'll want to put them into an ice bath. And I have that ice bath right over here in the sink. It takes probably about 4 to 5 minutes to get that tomato skin to be soft enough before you pull them out of there. And I'm going to get this batch out, get another batch in, because I have 40 tomatoes to do here. And you guys hang tight. We'll go on to the next step, skinning them, de-seeding, chopping them up, and then getting them cooking in a pot to make that sauce. So while I'm doing this, you guys take a break, maybe get a cool drink, because it's 106 today here, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Now I've got all the tomatoes blanched and peeled. I blanched them, ice bathed them, and then I peeled them. So the next step you want to do is you want to cut them into fourths and cut out that core. And then we're going to de-seed them. So let me show you how to do this next step. Okay? Alright, so we've got them cored, and we want to cut this little stem piece out. And then you want to, with your fingers, take these seeds out. And you want to catch that juice, because what we're going to do later is we're going to strain that juice, because that has some great flavor in it. So you'll stick your thumb in here, your finger, get those seeds out of there. I hope you can see me doing this. It's a little awkward with me being the only camera person. So get those seeds out and put them over here. We'll do it again. So see, we just take these seeds and get them out with your finger. Just like that. Okay? So let me do one more. Cut the end like this. And then, oh, you can't see it, so let me bring this closer. And then de-seed them by just sticking your finger, whoops, right in there to squeeze out those seeds. Okay? There, that's better. Okay? So you want to do that with all of your tomatoes, and then we'll be right back. So take a break, and I'll be right back here to show you the next step in making your own homemade tomato sauce. We'll be right back. Alright, let me show you how to do those tomatoes again. You got that core. Now this way you can see it better. You just want to just put your finger in there and just kind of squeeze those seeds right off of there. They should come off pretty easily, like that, so you have no seeds in there. Try another one here. And then we'll go to break and I'll finish de-seeding these. You can just stick your finger right in there. Be sure to save this juice. We're going to strain that juice and put it back in the pot because it has a lot of flavor there. Let me do one more. Okay, you just stick your finger in and just scoop it right out. Okay? Now there are other ways to make your own homemade tomato sauce. Some recipes have you bake the tomatoes after you core them for about 4 hours, and that's just a little too long in the oven for me. So this is the way I like to do it, with you blanching them and then pull the seeds out. It'll cut your cooking time down by about 2 to 3 hours, depending on how big a batch you make. Okay, so let me finish these tomatoes up, and we'll be right back, and we'll get to the next step. All right, we'll add those. We'll get them cooking. We'll add our onions and our garlic and our olive oil, and we'll make it really taste good. So take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I've got all my ingredients lined up. I got all the tomatoes done. Now I roughly chopped them, and then I strained the seeds with the juice in a sieve, or you could use some cheesecloth. The end result is the same. But then put those together and set those aside. So I've got about 1/4 of a cup of olive oil that's going in. And you want to set this at about medium heat. And I'm going to put in, a couple good tablespoons of garlic. You know, I really love garlic. So, we're going to put it in there. And you want to just start cooking this garlic to, so it starts to cook through. You don't want to overcook it or brown it. If you do that, it's going to become bitter and it's not going to taste very good. So it'll take a couple, 2-3 minutes to get this starting to brown up. Then you want to add, I have one whole onion here, and I diced it up into about a quarter size dice. And we'll just go ahead and put these in here. Now at this point, you want to get these onions where they're just starting to turn, where they're starting to be translucent, so you know they're starting to cook. This is going to take a couple of minutes. Make sure you have it on medium to medium high. At this point, you'll want to put in about a tablespoon or so of salt. That's going to help sweat out those onions and get them to start cooking a little faster. So put your salt in there. Now you could use fresh ground salt if you'd like. The aroma of these onions and the garlic is going to fill the house. It's going to smell so good in here. Okay. Now remember, if you want to see any of my rest of my videos, go to my website here. I have a whole list of different recipes, some classic, some that I've done a little twist on, and then I have a whole bunch of recipes that are leftovers that I've made into a completely different meal. Okay, these are starting to turn. So I have my peppers that I diced up. Now you can add any type of pepper you want to your tomato sauce, or you could leave the peppers out altogether. It's okay. It's all up to you as how you want to make it because it's your dish. But these are the peppers I got from the garden. Now make sure if you get a hotter pepper, you want to pull out those seeds and the membrane, because that is where all the capsaicin is, and that's the heat of the pepper. So go ahead and add those at this point. Like that. And then you just want to stir them in to get them cooking and starting to cook as well. Okay? Now, a lot of recipes call for a can of tomato paste. And if you want to use a can of tomato paste, I'm not going to, because I'm going to use the tomatoes and just thicken them up with the tomatoes itself. But at this point, you'll want to add a can of tomato paste and stir it in and let it cook until it starts to brown a little bit on the bottom. You'll have to stir it occasionally, scraping the sides. You just don't want it burnt, but you'll see the color difference. It'll start to turn a darker shade of red and start to brown up on you. Okay, so those are all in there. Now you want to add your fresh, I have dried oregano. It's about a tablespoon plus. Now when you do add this in, you'll want to make sure that you crush it a little bit, because crushing it is going to allow those oils that are in those leaves to start releasing and go into your sauce. It's going to make your sauce have a lot more flavor. Now if you're not into oregano, you don't have to put it in. Remember, this can be adjusted to any way you like it, and that's the best thing about making your own tomato sauce or marinara sauce. Now there is a difference, and I'll show you at the end of this video the difference between a marinara sauce and a tomato sauce. Now it does call for, it calls for a little red wine vinegar, about 2 tablespoons. So you can just add that in, just like that. And then it also calls for about a cup of red wine. But I don't use red wine in my cooking very often, and I don't have any in the house. So I'm going to go ahead and use about a cup of water. And we'll just put that in there and let this simmer a little bit. Now it doesn't matter what kind of red wine that you use. I would say maybe a Bordeaux or a Syrah or even a Malbec would be really good in this sauce. Okay, now at this point I'm going to go ahead and put in my fresh ground pepper. You just pepper it to however you feel you like. So if you like more pepper, put more pepper in. If you like less, put less in. It's the great thing about cooking at home. You can do it all the way you like. And I love pepper and garlic and all the seasonings, so I really season that up. Now I'll taste it later to make sure that the flavors are there and all that, so that if I need to adjust it, I can. Now here is the tomatoes and the juice. And as you can see, I roughly chopped those tomatoes and it's in the juice. Now we're going to put this in here after this simmers and reduces by just a little bit. And it's going to take probably 4 to 5 minutes for it to reduce down a little bit. The reason you want to do that is, especially if you add the red wine in here, you want to cook out the alcohol, and the onions and the peppers will start to absorb some of that red wine flavor. So go ahead and just let this simmer. I'm going to bring this up just a hair so that it'll simmer a little quicker. The aroma coming out of here is smelling so nice. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and add all these tomatoes. Just like that. Get them all in there. All in the soup. Now you want to cook this down probably a good hour. Stirring it occasionally. Okay, so now that I've cooked this or simmered this, actually it was a little boil for about an hour. It has reduced by about 1 inch to 2 inches down, so that the sauce has gotten a lot thicker, as you can see here. Okay. Now at this point, you want to add your fresh basil. I have a nice basil plant back here that I pick off occasionally. Add as much basil as you like. I mean, you can overdo it or underdo it, however you like. This is those things that make it nice to cook at home and make your own things, because you can add or delete items and make it the way you like it. Okay? So we're just going to add that basil in and stir it around. This will give it a nice flavor. Now, we talked earlier about the difference between a tomato sauce and a tomato marinara. Now, the marinara, you will take half of this out and you'll blend it, and then you'll add it back in. But be very, very careful with hot liquids in a blender. They seem to just expand and they will blow up in your face. So you'll want to make sure that this cools off, 15-20 minutes before you blend half of it and then add it back in. Now, if you want a whole tomato sauce and you don't want the chunks, then go ahead and blend everything and then put it back in the pot. And you can cook it down if it's just not quite thick enough as you like. So I'm letting this cool because it is a little too hot, but I do want to taste it. You can see in my dish here that I've already tasted it earlier because it is so sweet. I didn't add any sugar to it, but the tomatoes, because they were grown at home with no chemicals, and I picked them when they were ripe and not green, they're sweet. They're delicious. And I could add cream to this and I would have a tomato basil soup, and I could just, I would be in heaven. It's just fabulous. The tomatoes are nice, have good flavor. There's surprisingly no acid, at least that I can tell. The basil is a nice hint of basil. I can taste the garlic and those onions and the oregano. This is going to be really, really good. Anyway, to help you, let's get back to this. To help you with this, get you a canning funnel. They've got a wide mouth down here, and they'll fit onto your blender. Now, if you have a food processor, you can do it in a food processor too. So I'm going to go ahead and put some in here, and we're going to go ahead and blend this up. Hopefully it's not too hot. Notice I have a nice old blender. A friend of mine's mother gave this to me years ago, and it actually works really, really good. So let's put this lid on here and we'll blend this up and see how that comes out. The consistency looks really good. Excuse me. Let's pour a little into here. It almost looks like I added cream to it, and I really haven't, but the texture, it's just a little watery. I'll probably put this back on. It's almost like a tomato soup. It's that delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and blend up half of this, put it back in here, and probably simmer it another half hour, good 45 minutes until it's finished. So let me get that done, and I'll bring you guys back in and show you the end product of Eating Sharp. Also, I want to let you know that all of my engraving has been done by the RWF company, and he has, Ron over there has made these wonderful little rolling pins, and I call them Lynn pins, and they have the Eating Sharp logo. You can purchase these on my website right up here. I forget the price. You'll have to go there. They're in the gift section of the website. They're good to give out to your friends, your family, or just have one for yourself. You can also have your name monogrammed on the back of it or lasered on the back of it. They're just a fun novelty item. So I believe they're $20 without your name and $25 with your name. That does include shipping anywhere in the USA. So go to the website, pick you up one of these. I have about 20 of them left to be able to purchase. It was a limited amount, so hurry over there and get your little rolling pin. So let me get this all finished up, and I'll bring you back in and I'll show you the finished product. We'll be right back. I've got it all whipped together. I whipped probably a little bit more than half, and you can see how it's still got a little chunk, but it is still creamy in there. That's a really nice marinara sauce. I've got to taste it. I've got a little taste over here. I could eat it just like this, a bowl of this, maybe with some oyster crackers. It's delicious. So, remember, until next time, this is Lynn Sharp with Eating Sharp, and eat well. And remember, it's all about the food. Bye-bye.